All right, good evening. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Lakewood City Council, Lakewood, Colorado, August 14th, 2023, 7 p.m. To welcome everybody who's joining us in chambers. And if you are calling in this evening, the call-in number is 720-707-2699. The webinar ID is the same as the Zoom ID, and that's going to be 849-5732-0840. Please press ##. And then when we get to the public comment portion, you can press *9 to get into the meeting, to raise your hand, and *6 to unmute. With that, will the clerk please call the roll?
Paul.
Here.
Over. Here. Mia Guerrero.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Franks is absent. Strom.
Here.
Jansen.
Here.
Sharazai.
Here.
Springsteen.
Here.
Vincent.
Here.
And Abel. Here. Mayor Paul, you have a quorum.
Great. Next up on our agenda is number 3, and in a moment if you're able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a moment of silent prayer. I would also like to acknowledge, and during our moment of silent prayer, we lost a police agent this morning. Agent Fred Safaro passed away this morning due to an illness, and he was the Academy class of 2019. So we'd certainly like to keep him and his family in our thoughts. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, item 4 is our statement of conflict of interest. I think council knows that if you have a personal, financial, or business interest, please recuse yourself. If not, council can unanimously vote if that is the case. And we'll move right along to public comment. This is the moment in the meeting where the public is invited to address the city council on items that did not appear on the agenda. All comments should be directed to the city council. I ask that all in attendance observe the decorum of the city council chambers and refrain from applause or audible support or discord with the speaker. If you're speaking in here tonight, there's a 3-minute limit per speaker. The indicator lights on the lectern will glow yellow after 2.5 minutes and red when your 3-minute limit is up. If you're calling in online, you wish to speak under general public comment, please go ahead and press *9 now. And at 2 minutes, 30 seconds, you'll hear and when your time is up, you'll hear a double. And sign-up sheets are in the back. We'll go ahead and get going.
Bernie says there will be more.
Okay, no, that's great. Okay, first up, Mr. Mace. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Give me a couple seconds here, please.
You're good.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. James Mace. The reason I'm here, there's a couple reasons. First reason is I'm receiving emails from the city saying that I'm not allowed to make public comment. Mayor, we've had this issue before. We've had this discussion before. Every citizen up here is allowed to make public comment. It is our right to come up here and make public comment. I am not going to go into full detail of what the email said, but I'm not happy. And I strongly believe that our city manager had something to do with it. I strongly am recommending to this council that our city manager needs to go immediately, because I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to feel threatened by anybody, and I'm sick and tired of it. Because, Mayor, yeah, couple weeks ago, we did the proclamation, but that doesn't stop the problems. Thank you.
Mr. Mace. Ms. Wood? Good evening.
How's it going?
Good.
My name is Samantha Wood. I live in Lakewood. Just something I wanted to bring up, especially with the school year starting. I live right by Bear Creek K through 8, off South Hoyt Way and Dartmouth. The intersection there is extremely dangerous. There's no crosswalk. It's only a two-way stop. I was just wondering if there's any way that we could maybe do a study there, see if there's any way to do a four-way stop or add crosswalks. You have to pull out basically into the road in order to see around the corner to where the school is, where kids are trying to cross and parents are trying to cross the street. It's particularly dangerous for the children, in my opinion. My kid's not in school yet, but just for future and also for all the other little ones in the neighborhood. So, yeah, sorry, thanks.
Great, thank you. We'll circle back after public comment. Mr. Boyd. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm here to comment on jumbos. I'm Jeff Boyd, and for over 30 years, I've lived at my home located near West 8th and Benton in Lakewood, Colorado. I am a co-chair of the Two Creeks Neighborhood Organization, TCNO, which is from Colfax to 6 Avenues and Sheridan to Wadsworth Boulevards. One thing TCNO tries to accomplish is to help homeowners, renters, and business owners in and near our neighborhoods build up communities. Everyone should be able to live and work in an area they enjoy. This requires that people be good neighbors by following what they have agreed upon and by being responsible for their actions and the actions of their household, renters, business managers, employees, customers, and patrons. When my neighbor makes it so I struggle enjoying my home and community, I can go and talk with them so we understand each other and can help each other. Sometimes a neighbor does not understand or will not listen. Then there are outside entities that can help us reach an agreement about how to improve our relationship and community. Sometimes, no matter how one tries to communicate, as a last resort, legal aspects can be employed. This has nothing to do with race or gender, but of actions that do not reflect consideration and respect for one another and a willingness to cooperate. In other words, it's a matter of choice. As a homeowner, I set the standards for my household as to how we treat one another, our property, our neighbors, our community. A landlord sets the same standards for their renters, and a business owner or manager sets the standards for their employees, customers, and patrons. We lead by example. The standard is sometimes driven by law, code, license, contract, or lease agreement. These documents help define the standards we live and work by, and our signature upon them says we agreed to abide by the how and when we help build up our community. Actions speak louder than words, and if I say or sign one thing but act differently, then instead of building up my community, I may be tearing it down. The documented actions of the ownership and management of jumbos is reflective of a negatively impacted neighborhood. Agreed upon hours not being followed, not protecting patrons by limiting consumed quantities, intimidating or threatening neighbors, allowed loitering and violence are actions that do not build up this community. Please take the time to review the reports and videos, and I ask you, with the way Jumbos currently conducts business, would you invite them to set up on your street in your community? The ownership of Jumbos has the opportunity to choose to become a good neighbor, or I will let you fill in the blank. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. No audible applause or discourse, please. Mr. Burkhart. Good evening.
I'm Don Burkhart, and I hope to be the next mayor here. I'm here to say thank you to the 3 very brave leaders who voted against last Monday's emergency mandate. In my opinion, it was not a true emergency. This appears to be just one of more tactics to take away home rule here in Lakewood and other cities like us here in Colorado. I want the voters to know about this and help me say no to this type of control from our state government and from Governor Polis. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Ms. Herskovitz, and it looks like you have Mr. Baker, Ms. Berthel, and Ms. Morgan to pull your time. And then next up I have, forgive me, Ms. Kreis, maybe? Kreis. Thanks.
You ready to start my time?
Yep, go ahead.
It's good to be able to appear before you in person this week. It is unfortunate that the public didn't get to do so last week when you voted on, the majority of you voted to pass the emergency ordinance 0-2023-30. By your actions, you overturned the voter-approved Strategic Growth Initiative, the SGI, and which will end at the end of 2 years. This was one of 3 options that was suggested by the city attorney. The other 2 simply stated was you could fail to recognize HB 23-1255, which Councilor Jansen made a motion to keep our local law in place, and it was defeated immediately. The second additional option was to immediately comply with the state bill and stop enforcing the SGI. What was omitted from this mix of choices was a compromise, one that would have satisfied the state's requirements while respecting the wishes of the more than 18,000 voters who passed the SGI in 2019. Why not just remove the 1% growth limit, but retain other key elements of the SGI, such as project oversight? Improvements could have been made without sunsetting the ordinance in its entirety. What a missed opportunity to collaborate for the good of the entire community. But this body is not a cohesive unit. It is still us versus them. 4 councilors, Abel, Springsteen, Olver, and Jansen, are vilified for not being team players. They support transparency, and they challenge the use of executive session without sufficient evidence that one is needed. In this instance, the 4 voted against going into sequestered meetings on July 24th and August 7th because the city attorney did not provide a specific legal issue to support doing so. Several other councilors complained repeatedly that without an executive session, they could not have a complete discussion of how the city should respond to House Bill 23-1255. But keep in mind, this bill did not take effect until August 8th. But we were pushing a first reading on July 24th. When this emergency ordinance was passed on August 7th, no one knew what the consequences would be if Lakewood failed to comply with the law. Regarding a question as to whether it was legal for the state to impose this law, a member of the city attorney's team said she couldn't comment in public session. Well, why not? A city attorney does not determine the legality of a state law. A judge makes that decision if the law is challenged. At one point, it might have been a possibility that Lakewood, Lafayette, Golden, and Boulder, the 4 cities targeted by House Bill 23-1255, could have joined together to sue the state over its decision to override local control. That notion may have been quashed by Lakewood's early defection. None of the other 3 cities have decided on a definite course of action in response to this bill. This vote by City Council extends beyond the issue of whether you are for or against the SGI. The state had decided to usurp local control and override the vote of the people. Is this government overreach? We may never know. Lakewood did not put up a strong opposed defense in support of our grassroots ordinance when it was being discussed in the legislature. Why should we have expected that they would make an effort to salvage the best of it now? For the councilors who constantly espouse that they are listening to us, Your actions through your vote say otherwise. All comments pertinent to this emergency ordinance on Lakewood Speaks for the August 7th meeting opposed its passage for varying reasons. The usual excuse for ignoring public comment, public input, is the council represents the whole city, not just the few who take the time to respond to issues. Well, I will repeat my earlier statement that over 18,000 people voted in favor of the SGI. And if you were truly listening, you would not have voted as the majority of you did. For those of you who talk about fulfilling your fiduciary duties to the public, let's not forget this is the same group that voted for a new contract for the city manager without seeing the completed document last December. Many of you thought you were just voting on amendments. For the mayor, who has made no secret of his opposition to the SGI, he is cited in an article by Elliot Wenzler in the Colorado Sun dated August 9th, 2023, saying that Seldom turned developers away because of our growth cap. And he felt that removing this cap would not substantially change the amount of development in our city. Now the SGI is ending as it began, mired in controversy caused by lies, misnomers, and misinformation spread by its opponents. What will you do since your scapegoat for the numerous housing problems has been eliminated? Now you have the opportunity to develop approaches for reasonable, rational, and responsible growth. HB 231255 does nothing to ensure the building of affordable housing. Hopefully your actions moving forward will reflect the wants and needs expressed by your constituents rather than the aspirational goals of politicians. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Ms. Kreis? Kreis, forgive me.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I'm speaking on behalf on the Jumbos issue. I brought video to you in March of issues that have been going on at Jumbo's Bar and Grill for the better part of a year. Now, recently, there has been an attempt to deflect from those same concerns that have escalated of our community to one of persecution by both the owners of the bar and certain members of this body. I look forward to speaking at the hearing on August 29th at 9 a.m. in front of the Liquor Board to address these issues. I look forward to being sworn in and to telling the truth of what's going on there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kreis, is that accurate? Hunter? Krieg? Sorry. Hard to read the writing.
No worries.
Yeah, welcome.
My name is Hunter
Let's
Krieg.
get your time started over.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Hunter Krieg, and I'm a citizen of Ward 2 in Lakewood. I look forward to testifying at the public hearing for Jumbo's Sports Bar in front of the Lakewood Liquor Authority, and I will be sworn in to tell the truth about the adverse effect that Jumbo's has had on our neighborhood. I also want to thank Sharon Vincent for her support. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Mr. Reinhardt.
Mr. Mayor, Council. My name is Bob Reinhardt. I'm a citizen of Ward 2. I've been here for 30 years in this ward. I, as well, look forward to testifying for the city of Lakewood on August 29th. And I'll be sworn in, as everybody else who has to testify will be, and everybody who's sworn in will have to tell the truth at that hearing. So I really look forward to our opportunity to do that. I also would like to thank Sharon Vincent for her representation of our district. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Ms. Garrett? Good evening.
Hi. Hi, my name's Roberta Garrett, and I live in Ward 2 as well. I've lived here for 30 years. I, too, look forward to being able to be subpoenaed and sworn in to testify at the Jumbo Sports Bar public hearing before the Lakewood Liquor Authority. I will do my duty as a citizen to tell the truth about the adverse effect that Jumbo Sports Bar has had on my neighborhood. I've lived in the same house for 30 years. And I would also like to thank Sharon Vincent for all your help in navigating us through this in our district or in our ward and being such a great rep for us. Thanks so much.
Thank you. We have Ms. Poston, and then Ms. Halleck, and then Ms. Nichols.
And I need to put this on the screen so that the people can see it. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to update you on my FOIA, which has been going on now for 10 months. So I recently got an email that stated that they did do a redo and they have 12,586 pages that they will sell to me for $3,263. And I said, you need to send me an invoice so that I can put this on GoFundMe. And they all went, oh, I don't think we're going to do that. And I said, you have to give me an estimate before you do anything. So then we had some more discussions. I was on the phone for 2 hours last Wednesday, and it came down to the fact that they really didn't want to charge me at all. And they did another search, and they came up with 2,500 pages. And they have a new director that I was working with. This is the 4th director I've worked with in the last year. So there's something going on. Either they're passing me around to drag their feet, or they are really in trouble. And the new director, her name is Amanda Jones, and she is been transferred over from the DOJ. I think that happened because during our conversations, I did say that I have made a report and I've turned it over to another agency. So I think we're making progress. I'm hoping that I will get the 2,500 pages within the next 6 weeks, and I will give you another update at that time. So meanwhile, I do want to say that there is some other issues out here. I did talk to next door. I posted about inflation and what's happening with our groceries and stuff. Today, an article came out that said here in Colorado, we spend $700 more a month this year than we did last year. So a friend of mine went to one of the mayor's elect kind of situation, and she said all they talked about was affordable housing, affordable housing, affordable housing. And she said to me, when are they going to start talking about affordable living? Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Hi.
Good evening, Jenna Halleck with Colorado Christian University. Just a general update this evening. Like many families in Lakewood, we are excited to be near the start of a new academic school year at CCU. Our athletes and our student leaders have already started moving back onto campus. Move-in day for our new students is Thursday, August 24th, beginning at 9 a.m. We expect about 420 new students to join us. That's both freshmen and transfer students joining our student body. Our returning students will roll in shortly after that as our classes begin on Monday, August 28th. Our total living on campus, for those who are curious, is just over 1,100, with a total undergraduate count of about 1,500 students. Hopefully, some of you have received a recent postcard mailing from the university announcing a new webpage that we've created just for our community. ccu.edu/neighborhood is up and running. You'll find updates there on construction, dates for athletic events, music and theater performances, worship nights, and free events for the community. We want to make it easy for all of you to enjoy the great activities afforded to you by having a thriving university right here in Lakewood. You'll find regular updates and activities happening at the university that you are all welcome to attend. Meanwhile, this summer, we've been working with local nonprofits and getting them connected to our service opportunity database, where our students can search for volunteer opportunities all year long. There are too many to mention them all, but I'll echo the announcement from Miriam, who was here last month with Benefits in Action and ServSpot. We are looking forward to participating in the Love Lakewood Day on Saturday, September 23rd, and would certainly encourage anyone interested to get involved in some way. So if you are a nonprofit listening tonight and would like to get our students involved in your work, please reach out to me directly. You'll be able to find all of my contact information on ccu.edu/neighborhood. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Ms. Nichols. Then moving on to the next page. Nicolo? I'm just going to the next name after you, Maddie. Come on. You're good? Yeah? Good evening. Oh, you didn't want to go? Okay.
My name is Madeline Maddie Nichols. I have lived in Ward 2 for, I just figured out, 69 years. And I am here to talk about jumbos. I would agree with everything that Jeff Boyd already talked to you about. And I'm very passionate about the whole West Colfax area. And I think that the whole jumbo thing is more of a safety thing than almost anything else you can come up with. I think neighbors around the area have put up with a lot of stuff that in this complaint and request for summary suspension that I think is many pages long, that I would request that everyone on council really look at this, and I will also hope to be here on the 29th. I tried to come the last time, but it got canceled, and I think it's been canceled at least twice. So. And also, I would like to thank Sharon for all the work she does, not only for this, but for everything else in Ward 2. So, thank you.
And I'll just mention this again, Mr. Valkanaski did leave? Is that, Counselor, is that what you said? Yeah. Okay, so we'll skip over that. Ms. Howard? Good evening.
Hello, how you doing?
So I have 3. Did you want to pool your time?
Yes.
Is that where you're, okay, so we'll set it to 10 minutes.
Well, I don't think I need full 10 minutes.
If that's all right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed members of the community and the city officials, I stand before you tonight not only as the owner of Jumbo Sports Bar and Grill, but also a concerned member of the city of Lakewood, who deeply cares its well-being and unity of our residents. First and foremost, I will like to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to address the concerns surrounding my establishment have worked hard to construct. I believe in the importance of taking responsibility for our community, and that includes addressing issues head-on rather than shifting blame. It has come to my attention that certain concerns have been raised about my business over the past year, and I'm grateful for the chance to openly discuss these matters. One question that weighs heavily on my mind is why these concerns are only being addressed now, after such a significant period of time has passed. If my intentions were to provide a space that positively contributes to the community, it would seem logical for the city to have engaged with me sooner to collaboratively find solutions. Instead, it feels as though these concerns has been allowed to accumulate, which in return prevents me from addressing them effectively. I must admit that I feel deeply hurt and concerned about the possibility that these actions might be racially motivated. As someone who has always been committed to fostering unity, it's disheartening to think that my actions have been misconstrued. The way the reports have been written feels unfair and one-sided, failing to capture the entirety of the situation. In many cases, the incidents in the reports were brought to the authorities, the attention to the authorities by me, as I was merely doing my job by calling the police when necessary. It's heartening to see these actions being used against me in my establishment. I strongly believe that if the city attorney or the liquor board had taken the time to truly investigate and engage with me, we could have reached a more equitable resolution. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
Kind of nervous.
You're all right.
I want to emphasize that the individuals who have raised concerns about my establishment or individuals who have never stepped a foot inside, it's naturally to have reservations about what you don't know, but it is essential to approach these situations with an open mind and a willingness to see both sides of the story. I want to assure you all that I am not just here to defend my business, but also to extend a hand of partnership to address these concerns. Noise levels, operation hours, and incidents are all issues that could be resolved through collaboration. My commitment to the community extends beyond running a business. I am proud to say that I've been actively involved in providing assistance to the homeless and other charitable efforts. Moreover, my drive to succeed is not just to personally gain, but also to provide my family, especially my husband who courageously battling stage 4 cancer. Let us work together to find solutions that benefit everyone, fostering an environment of understanding, unity, and progress. Thank you for the time and the consideration.
Great. Thank you. So just to clarify, Mr. Howard, were you going to speak?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I thought we were pooling time, which is okay. There's still 6 minutes left on that. So we have 3 folks here for the Howards. Yeah. Come on down, sir.
Okay.
If you just jump right over here for the microphone, thank you.
Okay, I'd like to thank the board and everybody for this opportunity also. And I moved down here 8 years ago to Colorado from Indianapolis, Indiana. Left my family there for a year, and then my wife and kids moved here with me. What we're going through is not a case of we're going through a case of systematic racism. She's been kicked out of 2 places. I have videos of everything that transpired up until now, of even of us cleaning up the area, pictures of the problem here is the drugs in the neighborhood. We got needles all around the place. We cleaned all that up. I got videos and tons of pictures of us cleaning up this mess and feeding the homeless. And you go over there now, it's like it's a guy starting to camp up right in front of the liquor store. That's not our side. And we constantly call the police and constantly try to do this. And I apologize. I should have also apologized to any neighbors in the neighborhood that been affected by what they think has been Jumbos, and it hasn't. We haven't had any neighbors come down and ask, hey, can we help clean this mess up? The grocery carts was just lined up. It was people, I got photos of people living and pissing and shitting all over the place, everywhere. And we cleaned all that up, It's not there anymore. And as far as the crime rate is concerned, out of 400 shootings, they had 1 shooting that was a drive-by. The police didn't investigate that. I have the video of that also. We have a guy here right now in this building, sitting right there, got jumped on by 4 people. A black guy, a white guy, a Mexican, and a fucking Indian. And we reported it, the police came and didn't investigate it, didn't do nothing. They beat that man up for nothing, and they didn't investigate that. So we're not the problem, and we don't bring crime. And I resent that they say Jumbos bring crime to the area when we the one trying to clean this stuff up. We give neighborhood. We ask the neighborhood to come in and for we can have neighborhood cleanups and stuff like that. They don't support us. They don't come in and clean this stuff up. We get no support from the neighborhood. Most of our support is coming off of Google. If you Google us, what they're saying about our business, it doesn't even add up. Google us. Come down to buy a cup of coffee or water or anything, And as far as the introduction, when they first came, I was shocked. No letter in the mail, no email, no nothing. It's just, and it was, maybe he didn't mean it like that, but it was kind of like a racial move, nigga. You close, you won't sell nothing today. And I was blown by. The most number one thing we got in America right now, we need to work on our race issue. And everybody keep avoiding it like it's nothing. I posted that video and it went viral just like that. It's a race issue here, man. And we don't want to address it. They've been saying over the years since I was a child. Over the years, all the freedom fighters is taken out of the schools now. Nobody knows anything about what people went through to get where I am, to be able to own your own business. It was, everybody fought for that, blacks and white, everybody. I just want to be treated fairly, and I want the same opportunity. We asked Lakewood Police when she initially got that place, after getting kicked out of 2 places, we went to Lakewood Police, we said, hey, we have stars coming to our sports bar. We know a lot of stars. I can name Jay-Z, E40, Mike Epps. All of them is going to come there. And when they come, we're going to get large amounts of crowds. So all we asked the city to do was provide us with protection so that the neighborhood can be protected. We got it on record, and I got about at least 14 different business cards from police officers and photos, pictures with the police officers, talking to them about this situation. None of this could have escalated to this. The young lady's in the room right now, she goes to our Google, she's never been there before, she said, oh, the owners are nice people, I just don't like their patrons. And that wasn't right, and then she called us colored people. This is 2023, I didn't expect that. And I'm 58, she ain't too much older than me. She's in the room, and we just need to be fair about this situation. You just can't close the family down. I moved my family here from Indianapolis, Indiana 8 years ago and built everything we got. I worked for it. I struggled, I fought for it. And to just have it taken away from me like that, it ain't right.
Thank you. Mr. Kraft? And then, is it Elon on Zephyr Street? Good evening.
My name's James Kraft. I cooked for Jumbo for numerous months. And, you know, any business that's, you know, starting up or trying to get a good foothold is going to have its stumbling blocks. But, you know, I mean, something is, you know, I can see if something really big was happening out there, but there's not. You know what I mean? I do my job, you know, help them do whatever I can there, and, you know, I mean, I've seen, you know, a couple incidents, but, you know, nothing that's don't have it at any other bar or other bars in the area, you know, I mean, and you got to look at where we're at too, you know, I mean, when I first came there, I mean, we had to clean everything up. The parking lot was a mess. Everything was a mess. We were trying to work on, you know, getting different things, getting different aspects cleaned up and done. And it's just, you know, that part of the area is, you know, it's got its reputation. You know, we were trying to help clean that up a little bit, you know, at least, or try. You know, that's all we can do. But, you know, I think there'll be a good spot right there. I mean, it'll be good for the community. Probably.
Great. Thank you. Then after this, we have Ms. Prescott.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me. This is my second time joining you, and I just want to say thank you for your time and your consideration. I come here as a property owner looking to partner with the city on ways to fix the homeless population that's going on in front of our communities. I own 1330 Zephyr Street. Last time I was here, we talked, Mayor, about there's some confusion about where RTD stops, where the light rail stops, where the CAT team sets up, and I was able to talk to RTD, and it looks like on the map here, they stop their patrol at the right, or at the red line right here, not going further along on the light rail stop up to my property, which is highlighted in green. This is the area that we've talked to with the CAT team numerous times about the issues that are going on, as many people have talked about previously of the bad things that are going on with whatever you can imagine you see kind of out there. It's a problem for me because I try to operate a business like other people in this building have talked about previously, and it's very difficult when I'm battling a force that I can't stop that's outside of my property. And again, I come here looking to partner and to help and to come up with ideas of how we can assist. One day we were out at the property, and unfortunately we saw the Jeffco Points West, a division of Jeffco Public Health, handing out drug needles, clean needles, and testing kits. And I believe that that's important, that people have the ability to be safe. But to come to the area that we've identified multiple times, the CAT team comes and raises their hand and says, this is a problem. It's not, I don't believe it's okay to be handing out and catering to this environment right there when the action center is a quarter of a mile away. Let's do this at a different area, not in front of the property where it's been a real problem. We have people coming in constantly from the sidewalk, jumping into our property, stealing, doing drugs on our balconies. It's a tough event for us to keep on dealing with. We've come up with ideas of how can we help fix this. I think putting up no loitering signs, no soliciting signs, no camping signs, no stopping signs. No. This isn't the place for homeless to be hanging out and for trouble to be happening, and maybe getting a lock cam that would help with some of these pictures and to identify, or a lock cop that helps identify, and people can be remote to see what's going on here so that the CAT team doesn't have to be called by individuals, and they can be proactive and stop some of the bad things that are happening and affecting the families that I live with and that I want to take care of. So thank you very much. I look forward to partnering and coming up with ideas of what we can do to help this situation.
Thank you. Ms. Prescott, and then I have Mr. Timerson. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Portia Prescott. Just so you know who I am the state conference president for the Colorado, Montana, Wyoming NAACP State Conference. I'm the Rocky Mountain NAACP president, which means I'm the president over 3 states, Colorado, Montana, Wyoming, and over 10,000 members. Thank you for your time tonight. I know this is an arduous position that you guys all have, but I do want to talk tonight about the jumbo situation. I hear everything, especially as an NAACP president, that safety is a major concern. I'm a native of Denver, Colorado. I'm a 4th generation small business owner. I don't think there's anything that you could have come across that my grandfather or my great-grandmother didn't come across. They left from Birmingham, Alabama, Oklahoma, Kansas, and came to Colorado. We farmed in Brighton because it was safe where we could stay away from racism and the KKK. I was born, my family purchased a home where blacks were not allowed to buy a home in Stapleton. So I come here tonight to talk about safety is everyone's concern. Colfax, number 2, has been an issue for 4 cities. It is not Lakewood alone. And number 3, homelessness is an issue for about half of the state. Colorado Springs, Aurora, Lakewood, Arvada, Denver. The meetings that we're talking about today, we're talking about crime. I have been to multiple organizations or restaurants or what, but basically I feel like we're in the Archie Bunker days where if the Negroes move in town, then crime follows. That's not reality. I understand, and I want to look at every member of this community here. I got my car stolen just not too long ago in Aurora. It bothered me right in front of my home. Crime is a reality that we are all facing because of inflation, because of community, because people are tired and hungry. You cannot blame drive-by shootings. They happen. I grew up on Holly Street. They happen on 33rd and Holly, 22nd and Holly. Drive-by shooting and crime happens because people have nothing else to do. So for us to sit up here and say that it's one restaurant that has some of the best food in the city, if their only crime, the only crime they have is the best catfish that you will ever get in the state of Colorado, because we don't have Pierre's Supper Club anymore. So unfortunately, as a small business owner, I have been a small business owner in Denver, Aurora, Centennial, Colorado Springs, and I see I got 31 seconds left, but y'all need to understand that this is an issue that is a city issue. This is not a small business owner issue, and this is not a Negro issue. Just because a black restaurant opens up, if we got some Bronco players coming with their gold, and we have some Nuggets players coming with their gold, I'm sorry, people are hungry. People might want to come rob them. But it's not because of a specific establishment. It's because they're doing too well. So I'm here tonight to let you guys understand that I saw crime on Colfax. It's up and down Colfax. I was sitting there when we did the news conference, and I'm going to wrap this up, but I saw prostitution happening outside the liquor store. So you tell me, who is committing the crime? You don't want crime, then shut everything, shut the liquor store down, the tattoo parlor. And I have documented cases from that Swan Hotel of how much crime happens there and how many shootings, how many stabbings, and how much crime and drug use and drug selling is happening at the Swan Hotel. So you tell me something else. Tell me to shut down the hotel. Tell me to shut down everything. I'm wrapping this up because I am here today to not let you all say that one good cooking food restaurant, I'm sorry they cook good food, but they cause crime in a city that is ridden with crime, in a state that is ridden with crime. People have nowhere else to go. Nowhere else to go. Lakewood has the same problem that Aurora has.
Prescott, could you please
Colfax.
wrap up your comments?
So thank you for that, but I'm going to be here on August 29th, and I'm not going to let some white folks railroad a small business out just like they tried to do my father, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother out of Stapleton. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So if you please, we're going to refrain from that. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. So I'm gonna have to follow that, Ms. Prescott. I love her energy and what she stands for. But a little bit different argument. My name is Benzel Jimerson, and I lead a Black Economic Development organization that serves the state. And I firsthand have seen the work, the perseverance, the things that Jumbos, their owners, have gone through in order to continue staying in business, and the heart that they have for a community, and all of the things that they are. And then I start to, really think about it, and we were online, although we walked in here late. We were online and we heard the other comments, right? I would love to see what this community agreement is and what collaboration has occurred for this community agreement to be in collaboration with Jumbos to figure out some level of solution. I would love to see how many of the people that may be here on August 29th have walked in and had a conversation with the owners to try and figure out any solutions, right? And really wondering, what are some of those solutions? Has anyone had, again, real conversations with ownership from any of these levels, the city, the liquor board, any of those? Is there a comparison study of what happens in bars all along Colfax, right? But let's even take within the mile or 2 miles from this particular establishment. What's different, right? What does the ownership look like where there's not an issue versus where there is an issue? What is the city doing to address the underlying issues that we are all facing here that's creating the crime, the other behaviors that are coming out of any place that's associated with alcohol? And then, honestly, what are some of the plans around development that are coming out of this particular area? Don't know about the timing. I don't know any of those pieces. I also really respected the gentleman who solicited partnership with the city in terms of creating solutions. He's not facing losing his business right now. It's a different level of emotion that he's coming up with. But I really respect that, and I know the heart of the owners of Jumbos, and I know that they would be willing to engage in those types of conversations. And so again, ourselves, our membership, the many businesses that we represent, we also will be present on August 29th. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. So, Ms. Renee? That's everybody that's signed up in chambers. And again, we have somebody online with their hand up. If you didn't have a chance to speak in chambers, please see our clerk. Good evening.
Good evening, Tribe. I'm Simone Renee, a community member, also a member of Denver NAACP, coming here today to talk about the Jumbos issue. I was also on the call before I walked into this space, and I won't repeat anything else that has been said today, but also speak to the fact that Jumbos is a family business. I take my children there regularly to have food, to their family events, and I have not seen any of these community members patronizing that business. So my question to community is, are your concerns actually facts like you say they are? I want to speak to the fact that yes, community does have issues. Yes, we have to work together to solve those issues, but if we are not coming together to talk about and solve those issues, they cannot be solved. I have been at Jumbos on 2 separate occasions where the police were called for noise complaints that were unfounded, which raises the question, what are the true concerns or the true motives of the community? If Jumbos was truly not a safe space to be, I wouldn't take my children there to have their amazing food, to Ms. Prescott's point, and I wouldn't be there making friends in that community if that were truly the case. That is all.
Great, thank you. All right, anybody else in chambers? Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to online, and just a reminder for our folks online, that's 3-minute time limit. When you're at 30 seconds, you'll hear a ding, and when your time is up, you will hear a double ding. So Josh Jackson, if you want to give us your ward or address, we'll get your time going.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I didn't know I was going to be first here. 1 second. So my name is Joshua Jackson, and I am also with the Rocky Mountain State Conference NAACP. I'm the Criminal Justice Chair, Regional President for 3 states. I work under the President, Portia Prescott. I frequent Jumbos myself for food. I've done events at Jumbos. I've been involved in quite a lot of events that have happened, not just in Jumbos, but they're along that stretch of West Colfax, going all the way up into East Colfax. And much like the sentiment that we're hearing from everyone else, Colfax is the problem. And what we cannot do is persecute a business. We cannot persecute a business because of a community issue. Jumbo's closes today. What happens is a family loses its livelihood, a community loses a cultural staple, and Colfax stays Colfax, and none the safer in that immediate area.
Please.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, no, I was just making sure we keep decorum for all the speakers.
Absolutely. So Black economics are important. It's very important to Denver. Small business is important to Denver, and Black business is a huge part of small business. We have too many Black businesses that are being targeted and closed down. If that is the case, then everybody needs to close down, and we're not seeing everybody have the same amount of challenges. So the state conference is not going to stand by and allow the city to destroy a Black-owned business, a family business that is feeding people and providing a cultural staple to the area because of a community problem that needs to be solved in City Hall, needs to be solved at the state level as well. Thank you for the time.
Great, thank you. Anybody else online? Going once. Okay, we'll go ahead and close public comment. So thank you all very much. I don't think Mr. Mace is still here, but if he does have emails, feel free to please pass those on. Our Bear Creek K through 8, if we don't have your information, if we could leave that either with the clerk or our deputy city manager, we can make sure somebody can get back to you, and our public works director is here also to be able to engage. And then our folks regarding the homeless, certainly a challenge that we're looking at on all different angles, and understand the concerns and trying to find a lot of different solutions on many fronts. So kind of all in this together, and I think as a community in general, the heart of local government, and thank you for everybody coming out tonight, we're all in this together. So whether it's addressing our homeless or concerns regarding a neighborhood business and neighbors who all have the same goal and want to see success. So I hope that there's an opportunity going forward. There's 2 processes. I see 2 processes. There is one process that takes place on the legal side and the due process piece. And then there's another piece, if there's a commitment for neighbors to work together, I think the city has good tools for that to move forward. And if folks want to know more about economic development plans or other plans along West Colfax, there's a West Colfax Community Association meeting the 3rd Wednesday of every month. They'll be meeting this Wednesday, and that is a group of folks from all over West Colfax that truly want to support businesses, support the community, support affordable housing, look for solutions to our homeless. So if you want more information on that, we can make sure that we can get that. Certainly, West Colfax Community Association, WCCA. Okay. So next up is the consent agenda. The consent agenda The use of the consent agenda has been made to expedite council action. It contains both resolutions and first reading ordinances. Resolutions are items of a routine nature. Members of the public will have an opportunity in a moment to comment on any of the proposed resolutions. First reading ordinances appear on the agenda only for the purpose of setting future public hearing dates and ordering the newspaper publication of the proposed ordinance. No public comments will be heard this evening on first reading ordinances. The public will have the opportunity to comment on the proposed ordinances during the scheduled public hearings on the dates set tonight by City Council. Any member may request an item on the consent agenda be removed for separate discussion and action under general business. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda into the record?
The consent agenda includes items 6 through 11. Item 6, Resolution 2023-42, adopting members to the Lakewood Historic Preservation Commission. Item 7, Resolution 2023-43, appointing a member to the Lakewood Planning Commission. Item 8, Resolution 2023-44, approving participation by the City of Lakewood in a coordinated election to be conducted on November 7th, 2023 by the Jefferson County Clerk and Recorder. Item 9, Resolution 2023-45, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Mile High Flood District, the City and County of Denver, and the City of Sheridan for a major drainage way plan and flood hazard area delineation for Bear Creek downstream of Bear Creek Reservoir. Item 10, Resolution 2023-46, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Mile High Flood District for maintenance of drainage and flood control improvements for McIntyre Gulch at Urban Street and authorizing the city manager to execute said agreement. Item 11 includes the following ordinances on first reading, adopting Stevenson annexations numbers 22 and 23. Ordinance O-2023-31, annexing certain property to be known as Stevenson annexations number 22 and 23, located in the southwest 1/4 of Section 6, Township 4 South, Range 69 West, and the southwest 1/4 of Section 1, Township 4 South, Range 70 West, 6th Principal Meridian, County of Jefferson, State of Colorado. Ordinance O-23-32, to initially zone and rezone land located at 14700 West 7th Avenue, City of Lakewood, County of Jefferson, State of Colorado. Ordinance O-2023-33, to rezone land located at 15,000 West Colfax Avenue, City of Lakewood, County of Jefferson, State of Colorado. Ordinance O-2023-34, to vest the zoning for land located at 14700 West 7th Avenue, City of Lakewood, Colorado, County of Jefferson, State of Colorado. Ordinance O-2023-35, to vest the zoning for land located at 15,000 West Colfax Avenue, City of Lakewood, County of Jefferson, State of Colorado. And Ordinance O-2023-36, vacating all of the 600 block of South Gardania Court right-of-way north of 6th Avenue from frontage road and south of West 7th Avenue.
Nicely done. Councilor Olver, do you wish to pull something?
Yes, could you pull item 8, please?
Yep. I will pull item 8. Okay, so I'll open the public hearing on the resolutions stated in the consent agenda minus item 8. So that's going to be resolution 42, 43, and 45, 46. Nobody's indicated a wish to speak on any of those. I'll open the public hearing. Anybody online wish to speak on those resolutions? Okay, seeing none, I'll close public comment on those resolutions. I'll ask for a motion on the consent minus number 8.
Mayor Paul, I move to order all ordinances introduced on first reading to be published in the Denver Post with public hearings set for the date included in the ordinance, and for adoption of all resolutions minus item number 8, all of which are included in the consent agenda. Items introduced into the record by the city clerk.
Second.
Great, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Before we make that vote, I'm going to turn it over to the chair of our screening committee, Councilor Sherazai.
Yes, thank you. I just want to recognize and thank members of the community, as always, for stepping up and offering their service to our boards and commissions. And we're excited this evening to welcome to the Historic Preservation Commission Mr. Ron Everhart, Ms. Sarah Harris, Mr. Fernando Roca, and then to our Planning Commission, Mr. Kiplin Kolkmeyer. So thank you again for your service, and I would just point out we have a number of openings available, and we're still looking for great candidates to help fill those vacancies.
Great. And are any of our members who are about to be voted on here? Click. All right. Keep your fingers crossed. Great. We have a motion and a second on the consent. Appreciate your willingness to serve, and please cast your votes. Somebody vote for Councilor Vincent, please, an aye. And that passes 10 aye, 0 nay. Councilor Vincent, did you wish to speak, or did you, maybe I accidentally, no, never mind. Can you turn her request to speak off things? Okay, will the clerk please reread item 8 into the record?
Item 8, Resolution 2023-44, approving participation by the City of Lakewood in a coordinated election to be conducted on November 7th, 2023 by the Jefferson County Clerk and Recorder.
I'll now open the public hearing on item 8. Again, nobody has indicated a wish to speak. Seeing none, I'll close public comment. Councilor Olver, you pulled this item.
Yeah, I had a very simple question and it comes from a newbie. Do we have to do this every election? Have we been doing this every election? And I noticed the only alternative is if we held our own election. And I would think that's not really all that feasible. I was just wondering why we were doing it. It seems like this should be automatic.
Sure. Mr. Clerk, Ms. Brown, Kenny Brown.
I guess because the council has an option, you're required to enter into the agreement with the county for a coordinated election, and that's done by resolution. I don't have the staff report in front of me, but yeah, that's the general explanation.
And there's actually probably a cost savings as well, Mr. Goldstein, if you want to.
There's definitely a cost savings participating in the coordinated election as opposed to doing it ourselves. Also because of the dollar threshold that comes in front of council.
Okay, can I have a motion on item 8, please?
I move for the adoption of Resolution 2023-44.
Second.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes. Councilor Vincent is an aye. Okay, that passes 10 aye, 0 nay. Go ahead and move into councilor comments. I'll start with Ward 5.
Just an announcement that we have no ward meeting in September due to the Labor Day holiday.
Councilor Jansen.
Thanks. I was hoping I'd go last, but that's okay. I'd just like to clear the air on a position that I took and why I was opposed to a closed-door meeting to discuss House Bill 23-1255, which removed the limits on growth and construction in which the state legislature passed with very limited stakeholders to prevent existing 3 jurisdictions, Lakewood, Golden, and Boulder, who had preempted or denied many local jurisdictions from creating growth caps, except some temporary or emergency situations. This matter was rammed through while many people were distracted, and rightly so, by Senate Bill 23-213, the land use bill. And frankly, I don't think Boulder and Golden displayed intent to fight HB 23-1255 as evidenced on how they lobbied at the state capitol and Lakewood's unclear presence at the capitol. Ongoing into executive session, in which a closed-door meeting about a legal discussion in which I did not get any strong indication that the majority of council, Lakewood's council, would vigorously oppose House Bill 23-1255 to proceed with any legal action. Considering all these unknowns, it was in the best interest of the citizens to have a public discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 4, Councilor Olver.
No report.
Ward 3.
I just want to weigh in on the Jumbos issue because I've spent a lot of time in that neighborhood over the last couple of weeks trying to figure out what's going on. And I would mention a timeline that I think tells a lot. The building where Jumbos is located was purchased by a new owner, May 26th. City of Lakewood took their liquor license away June 1st. State Health Department showed up June 8th. And their place was sabotaged and flooded out about a week later because somebody went up on the roof with a knife and stabbed a bunch of holes in the roof. Seem a little strange? I would also mention that the health department showed up with 4 Lakewood police in full tactical gear to address this nice man who addressed us tonight, who has stage 4 prostate cancer. And that was put on TikTok, and we're nearing 1 million views of that video at this point. Why? Because of the blatant racism that took place on that day in how these people were addressed and intimidated by this city. 40 West Arts District is right down the road. I was there on First Friday. Very loud, music in the open air, hundreds of people coming and going, drinks going in and out of various galleries. We approved, as a city council, an entertainment district here in Belmar where white people are allowed to walk around with alcohol all over a place where there are residents who live and play loud music, blare loud music. There was a shooting in Belmar this year, if you recall. Somebody came into a hotel there and unfortunately killed people, and unfortunately one of our own police officers was hit with that gun violence right here in Belmar. Do we blame that hotel for that violence? Do we blame those small business owners in Belmar for that violence? Do we blame the people at 40 West Arts for the violence that goes on all up and down West Colfax? We do not, because they are white. And you heard people speak tonight. So Club Q had a terrible violent event happen in Colorado Springs last year. Do we blame that club for bringing gun violence into the club? Or did the community stand behind them? Did the police stand behind them and try to figure out a way to help them? Did people have compassion for them? This business had a drive-by shooting. They showed me the video. And I read the police report, and the police report said that the police could not investigate because they were called away on other incidents that night. And yet, that event is being used against this little restaurant as being a so-called magnet for gun violence because they were victims When are we going to start treating people of color as victims when they are victims and protecting them instead of blaming them? These people feed the homeless. They cleaned up the whole area. I stood out there and watched people come by off of West Colfax who were, you know, drunk, taking drugs, homeless, all kinds of different things. There was somebody who sped through their parking lot who had nothing to do with the business. Meanwhile, these grandparents are standing there with their little baby grandgirl who's maybe 2 years old. And they are trying to find a way to survive. This is the third business they have been pushed out of in Lakewood. So, I mean, there's two elements to this. One is that I think this has something to do with development going on up and down that corridor. It's just a block down from the Blue Sky Motel, where the city also drove a small business owner out of business. But there's also a racist element of it because the city thinks that they can push around people like that because their skin is darker, and that is not right. We don't even have 2% African Americans in this city. And a lot of my constituents are Hispanic, and they have absolutely no voice in this city. And that has been demonstrated by me being on council and all the dirty deeds that have happened in this city to try to get me to resign. The NAACP is here, guys. And other national organizations like that are coming. Because the racism in the city has got to stop. So maybe if our state legislature and governor were more involved in helping smaller communities, and more involved in not taking away local control, we would be able to help our small businesses. It is a shame that this city just sat down to that preemption of local control. That is a precedent that will be impossible to walk back. I think it's really sad that this is the first time that I recall African American people filling these chambers. That tells you a lot about this community and the lack of inclusivity and where we need to get from here. Thank you.
Thanks. The only thing that I've got to announce on my side is that I'll be holding a ward meeting next Saturday, August 26th, from 9:30 to 10:30 over at the Phillips United Methodist Church. We're going to try something a little bit different and new. I've been wanting to involve our community in more community service, really lifting up folks around our community who need a little bit of help and joining together as a ward to create more community by helping others. So we are going to have a school supplies drive as part of our ward meeting. So we'll be asking folks if you only have a little bit of time and can't stay for the whole thing. We'll be collecting supplies during the first half of our ward meeting, and then we'll be doing community updates with me, where you can come and chat and get updates on the community with me after that. And I'll have folks who are able to distribute those to the elementary schools around Ward 3. We've got a couple of elementary schools in Ward 3 who are taking on additional students because of the Jeffco school closures from last year. So we want to make sure to support those students and teachers as they transition, and we know that teachers very often spend a lot of their own money on school supplies. So would love for Ward 3 to come together and show up for the elementary schools in our community. So please at least stop by and bring school supplies. Stay and chat with me if you can afterwards. Thanks.
Ward 2?
I can go first. I would just like to thank everybody who showed up tonight, and I look forward. I heard your concerns, and I look forward to the facts being presented at the process and procedures that we have in place to take care of these things. Thank you.
I also want to thank everybody who came to show up on various issues. I think we had a really lively public discussion across a myriad of items that have been coming up over the summer, and I really appreciate that. I definitely have only heard from community until today about feeling frustrated with jumbos, and I tend to agree that the separation, the delineation between a business's responsibility and the nature of West Colfax is very, very difficult to think about and figure out. I am anxious to see how this continues to unfold, but I will also definitely be trying to put in some due diligence myself to get a better grip of this particular issue. I'm not normally that involved in one individual business's permit processes, licenses, et cetera, because our ward and all of Lakewood is full of lots of local businesses, bigger businesses, and there's a lot of processes happening at any given time. But obviously this is one that deserves more attention, and I think that that is great that the community is figuring out how to do that, and I welcome the NAACP being in our chambers much more often. Additionally, if you want more economic development Colfax and Ward 2 updates, we are having an Economic Development Department present at our Ward 2 meeting, which is this Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Clement Center, and I hope to see folks there.
Ward 1?
Thank you, Mayor. We have a lot to consider from tonight's discussions. I suggest that we do it very thoroughly and consider all the points made by the neighbors as well as the business owners. And there has been another story in the Post this morning about a gentleman who's losing his business over in the former JCRS shopping center. And any time that we lose a business, especially one that seems to be unique and very entrepreneurial, it costs us in community. So we need to consider where we are and where we're going, and put a handle on this identity. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I would just add that, just a reminder for folks, tomorrow is the first day of school in Jefferson County, and we know, particularly in Ward 1, we've heard quite a bit. We've had some consolidation as well with school closures, and so just ask you to be careful in your commute and drive safely as we have young ones getting to and from school tomorrow.
Okay. Just a community reminder that next Monday night will be a open house to start to kick off the reintroduction of the comprehensive plan. So if you're able to attend that, please do so. Also be the Ukrainians of Colorado Festival is going to be at Lakewood Belmar Park this weekend, which I think this is their second year, but the first year here at our park. So check that out if you're interested. And many of us were able to go to 10 Sheridan and see the West Colfax West Colfax Community Association, as well as the Two Creeks neighborhood, get excited about an old building coming down and looking forward to what's going to come back up. So I know that was a lot of fun, and Councilor Vincent was very excited to get in and pretend she was in the wrecking ball, but she was not. I hate to say, sorry. But it was a great event. We actually had a lot of folks from Denver that also came over to celebrate. So with that, as always, I'd like to thank our Lakewood Police Department for being here, and just again, a remembrance for your loss today of one of your fellow agents. So with that, we will adjourn at 8:25 p.m.